breaking down all 19 things you missed from Survivor Season 44, Episode 8. We're talking all things Danny's idle play, Franny getting emotional, Carson getting sick, Lauren's challenge win, and much more. Careful for any spoilers if you haven't seen the episode yet, and make sure to stick around as we announce last week's giveaway winner. We got 2 weeks in a row where no one claimed the puzzle giveaway, so if you want to enter next week's giveaway, make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and comment down below your thoughts on Danny's idle play. As you can tell, my voice is in rough shape right now. I was hoping it would be better for the time to record this video. I'm not gonna let that from stopping me talking about this amazing episode of Survivor. But I am sorry my voice is like this. Hopefully you can put up with it as we recap this episode of Survivor. Let's just get into it with number 19, Jam Jam recaps Tribal. We all know Jam Jam loves the drama, and he kind of overhypes his situation in the game, talking about being part of every single tribal council except for 2. It was obvious last tribal council it was either gonna be Matt or Jam Jam, as the Ratu Orange tribe was in control. And of course we had the added complexity of Heidi having the control your vote advantage. This episode we're about to break down here is the textbook example of a great episode of Survivor. And really this episode highlights the promise Jeff gave us at the start of the season with crazy idle plays, chaotic characters, and I'm all here for it as we get a simple yet interesting Survivor strategy with the war between Ratu and Soka. Number 18, Franny emotional. Franny's in pretty rough shape after Matt was voted out of the game. Huge surprise, but I actually don't know everything and I can't admit when I'm wrong. Let's just roll the clip of last week. Obviously Matt has feelings for Franny, but I don't think Franny feels the same way. It turns out Franny and Matt are actually together outside the game. Number 17, the Ratu Boys. Brandon and Kane are super pumped about Franny crying. That's a poor choice of words and a little dark. What I mean by that is they're really pumped about splitting up the showmance between Matt and Franny, and in the process giving the Orange tribe all the control. Sadly, Kane might be getting a little bit too cocky as he says if a Ratu player doesn't win the game, we did something very wrong. With Kane saying that, I'm going out of the way and saying 100% I don't think a Ratu player will be winning this game. And especially Kane, I don't think will be winning this game as one of the Survivor editors accidentally mistake Kane for Matthew. Number 16, Heidis Advantage. Heidi is trying her best to fix her relationship with Jam Jam. Remember last episode, her control of vote advantage, she forced Lauren to vote for Jam Jam. In reality, Heidi explains she still wants to work with Jam Jam in the future and specifically chose Lauren because of her extra vote. If she wanted something to happen differently, she could have just played that extra vote. Number 15, Tika in control. All I'm saying here is for the rest of the season, remember the names Jam Jam, Carolyn, and Carson. I predict one of these 3 players is gonna ultimately win the game as they're playing perfectly from the middle right now. We'll be talking about it at the very end of the video, but they all play tribal councils so perfectly with who they choose to vote for. Carolyn and Jam Jam actually end up voting for different people, so none of the other players will suspect a thing. Number 14, shout out Carolyn. And while we're talking about Carolyn, I really need to give you a huge thank you for shouting out the channel. If you're unaware, on Twitter, she's been beefing with Russell Hantz for the past couple of days, and to show the amount of power she has and shutting up Russell Hantz in the process, she puts out this tweet, literally giving us the biggest day we've ever had on YouTube. If you're unaware what I'm talking about, I'm trying to become the biggest Survivor Russell on YouTube. So if you're enjoying this video, please consider subscribing and helping me pass Russell Hantz. Number 13, Carson feeling rough. We knew this was coming from last week's promo, as we see Carson in rough shape throwing up the PB&J sandwich reward from last week's episode. We'll talk about it later in the video when it gets highlighted again, but I love the true friendship and true relationship that Carson and Carolyn have built. Number 12, Tree Mail. I feel like at this point in the episode I'm nitpicking a little too much, but this is the only thing I'm not a big fan of. I'm not convinced that we needed the twist of the players competing in pairs at the start of the challenge. I don't know, maybe the Survivor team just got lazy and didn't want to build double the amount of the challenge. Again, just nitpicking a little bit, the rest of the episode is truly awesome, and putting these players in pairs does give some fun moments. Lauren feels bad as she'll probably be the weakest link in her pair, which makes it feel all the more sweeter after we see what happens at the challenge. And Carolyn takes one for the team and goes in a pair with Carson. Again, just highlighting the true friendship they have for each other. Carolyn just feels for Carson here. Number 11, Immunity Challenge. Some of you may remember this is almost the exact same challenge we saw in Survivor 43. We got players working in pairs throughout the challenge, and the only part that's different is the endurance section at the end.
Kane and Brandon, Franny and Jam Jam, Carolyn with Carson, Danny and Lauren, and Heidi and Jamie
In Survivor 43, that challenge takes up over half the episode, so I wasn't sure what to expect here. The challenge is ultimately going to be run in 3 sections, and we get this funny tweet about the new twist of everyone being eligible to vote. In all seriousness, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I love classic Survivor. For stage 1, you gotta run through a gross net, dig up a plank, and the last pair will be out. For stage 2, use those planks to get across, and the first 2 pairs will be safe. And for stage 3, it's a classic challenge, feet up on a perch with the last person standing wins. Number 10, the challenge. I'm on the fence here because for me personally, I'm a big fan of actually watching the Survivor challenges, but I gotta admit 20 minutes is a little too much. I feel like a reason to do a challenge like this in stages is so we can still get the money shots, you know, those action shots of the players running around, while still getting the best of both worlds, seeing the players compete in a long challenge at the end. I just wish we had everyone skip the stages part of the challenge and have the endurance challenge for everyone at the very start. Going into the intense final round of the challenge, we had Kane and Brandon and Danny and Lauren. Number 9, adventure of a lifetime. As we cut to a commercial break during the challenge, Jeff reminds us to apply for Survivor. If you dream about one day playing Survivor, just let me tell you about Idle Plays. This is my passion project, making replica Survivor challenges for Survivor superfans. We have the iconic fire puzzle, the 4-piece haberdasher's problem, the deceiving crate puzzle, and the time-consuming will it go round. To celebrate Carolyn giving us a huge shout out this week, I'm going to be doing an insane competition. The first person to spend over $50 in Idle Plays and uses the discount code TEAMWIGER will be getting a yellow fire puzzle absolutely free. The discount code to get this yellow fire puzzle absolutely free will only work for the first person that uses it. All I'm saying is Survivor's ready. Go! Number 8, endurance challenge. Jeff literally says it perfectly here. These endurance challenges are all about pain and how much you truly want it. And honestly, these are the kinds of challenges I dream of one day competing on when I eventually get on Survivor. Hopefully get on Survivor, fingers crossed. We got Kane with the man bun, Brandon with the sumo shorts, Lauren the underdog, and Danny with the farts. Literally a top moment of the episode for me, seeing Danny's fart, Jeff's reaction as Rob Cesternino tweets this out. We ultimately get a final showdown between Lauren and Danny where Lauren actually wins the challenge, as we see this awkward moment of Danny leaving Jam Jam hanging. Number 7, after the challenge. Everyone's cleaning the mud off themselves, doing some small talk before the chaos of the tribal council. Carson's actually pretty connected with the Ratu Alliance just due to the swap that happened earlier in the season, and they decide to go with the obvious vote, all work together. It's gonna be an easy vote. They're taking Frannie out. But come on, this is Survivor. Nothing is ever that easy. Number 6, Carolyn and Jam Jam. This shows how unaware the other players are of the control the Tikka Alliance has in the game. Brandon just casually says they could use Carolyn and Jam Jam for numbers right now, as Jam Jam doesn't have much power and Carolyn will vote for whoever Jam Jam votes for. That's why I'm so impressed with what happens later in the video, later in the episode, with how the Tika 3 vote. None of the other players see it coming that the Tika 3 are controlling the game. Number 5, Ratu Kaki. However, the Ratu Alliance, this orange tribe, does make the mistake of telling the green players that they're voting for Frannie. I've honestly thought about this one for a little bit, and I can't think of a reason why they told Danny and told Heidi they're voting for Frannie. Like, let's pretend for a second Danny doesn't have the idol. They can't make that crazy idol play later. Shot in the dark is still a thing. Does the orange tribe just think everyone else is gonna lay down and die? Obviously, I am happy that Ratu makes this mistake as it leads to an uprising. As number 4, Tikka and Soka. Breaking it all down real quick, we got 3 Tikka members left, 3 Soka members, and then 4 Ratu members. Meaning anyone that knows how to do math can see if Tika and Soka come together, they have a majority. Danny drops a bomb and spills the beans on a whole bunch of stuff. Well, first of all, the Danny and Brandon bromance is apparently over now, and Omar is super confused by that. And secondly, Danny officially tells Heidi he has the idol. He also tells Frannie later in the episode. The issue is the Tikka Alliance doesn't want to be seen as flip-floppers going back and forth between Soka and Ratu. I would love to hear your thoughts down below on if you think it was a good move or bad move of Heidi actually telling Jam Jam and Carson about Danny's idol. Because hear me out for a second, I actually think it was a really bad move. Because if Danny's plan was to play the idol for Frannie the whole time, then they didn't need the numbers from the Tikka Alliance. And just like how exactly Jam Jam says, if he wanted to, he could have gone with Ratu and told them about Danny's idol. This would have ruined Danny's plan, leading into number 3, Danny's big move. Danny's ready to make a splashy big idol play move at Tribal Council, which is so refreshing to see because because it's been literally over 1,000 days since Survivor David versus Goliath, when a player's done a successful hidden immunity idol play onto another player. Danny gets a little bit freaked out when Carson tells him that Jam Jam knows the truth about this idol. Obviously, we just talked about the reasons why Jam Jam having this knowledge is scary, and Danny lays it all out perfectly.
There's a lot to take in, so at Tribal Council, I'm definitely gonna have my ears wide open.
Number 2, Tribal Council. Kane brings up a good point. The game's about to go into overdrive because we now have players sitting on the jury. In reality, this is how the new era of Survivors play. Think Lamb to Lion or the Alligabler hiding in plain sight. Now that we're in the jury section of the game, every move you make matters. I'm pumped we're finally here. This felt like the merge episode of Survivor 44. I just wish we got here sooner. Like I said all episode long, Tika's playing in the middle perfectly here. Mike Bloom breaks down how the Tika alliance broke and how smart it truly is. Number 1, Brandon voted out. For the first Wentworth will not count type moment of the season, Danny reads the room perfectly, plays his idol for Franny, and idols out Brandon in the process. Anyways, congratulations Trev, you're this week's puzzle giveaway winner. I'll announce a new winner next week, and click right here to check out idol plays, or click right here to check out another Survivor video.